us. Do what you want to get it back for us. You take your time, then let me know if you wanna stay or if you wanna go. I know you have difficulty knowing me, but you don't have difficulty showing me that we just need to get away. I'll take you on a wild adventure if you want to go. We're locked in place and sing together. Please just let me know. Won't you synchronize with me? You can be my everything, my everything. You can be my everything, my everything. Won't you synchronize with me? You can be my everything, my everything. You can be my everything, my everything. We haven't got unlimited time. Sun is out and you get to your prime. We're falling for love, we're falling for lust, we're falling through everything. You see the summer's getting closer. We don't feel like we are getting older. So show me what you have to bring. I'll take you on a wild adventure if you want to go. We're locked in place and sing together. Please just let me know. Won't you synchronize with me? You can be my everything, my everything. You can be my everything, my everything. Won't you synchronize with me? You can be my everything, my everything. You can be my everything, my everything. I don't want to change. Dancing through the streets, we wander, falling for the fire. Burning at the heart, throwing hands up to the sky. Ooh, we live for the night. Ooh, here for the ride. I feel alive under the city light.
And hello, everybody, and welcome to the Challenger Circuit presented by Tier Monster. My name is Freight Train, and joining me on the co-caster desk will be my good buddy Gormizer. Welcome to the show, man. We've got a good one for everyone today.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this. In fact, this first matchup is probably going to be the games to watch just because Quignitas, I mean, last week against Astro Authority, I was even saying this during the cast, I didn't expect them to win, and they came out with a 2-0. And it's kind of the same scenario up against SPL Gatekeepers. When you look at the roster of Gatekeepers versus Quignitas, you kind of expect to see Gatekeepers win, but Quignitas has pulled out some surprises, and honestly, I kind of expect to see them put up a good fight.
Well, the fight will go on. Let's see what we got for the band. Sylvanas, Circuit, and Thoth. Well, Gore, there is zero surprise in those bands. The Hoombots, though, may be piquing the interest of the SPL Gatekeepers as far as Quignitas not wanting to give that over to the jungler Galaria. Just don't want to deal with it.
Yeah, last week he had a really strong performance on this. And of course, Hunbats is one of those junglers that's really good for disruption and really good in team fights. Taking him off the board isn't too surprising, but it's still kind of interesting to see Gatekeepers favor that over other picks, and Terra going to be locked in first pick.
Well, Terra did just get this buff in the recent patch. Obviously, it just occurred on Wednesday when it went live, so she's going to have a little bit better wave clear. Now, whether this Terra actually goes into the solo lane and it's something that we see like what Eager does and Quig's trying to pull that out, or whether this ends up being a support Terra, we will find out. But Gatekeepers, ooh, the Guardian selections are strong. 3 Guardians in the first 3 picks. 2 by Gatekeepers, 1 by Quignitas.
100% Kiki's Kabrakan. He just runs that in the solo lane. It could potentially go into the jungle, but Kiki, like, I mean, he loves this god. He plays it all the time in the solo, and Izanami going to get picked up on the other side, who is probably one of the top favored ADCs, even with a slight nerf to her clear, still going to be very good, especially when coupled with the Khepri.
Wow, I'm just amazed. We have 6 picks on the board, and over half of them are Guardians right now. Khepri is a selection for Quig, as you mentioned, with Izanami. So it looks like Terra will most likely go into the solo lane. I doubt Khepri ends up going in there. With Kabrakan, yeah, it is looking like a Kiki selection for sure. Ymir, possibly the support, unless we see some craziness come out.
That respect.
Yeah, Cupid. Well, oh, the AMC band.
The
Wow,
AMC, man, that is
okay.
straight up respect to MiniQ right there. That is, we saw what you were able to do with it last week. We saw that it got banned out because of what you were able to do with it, and we're not going to deal with it. Get it off the board.
You know what? I like to see that improvement. Obviously, you've done. I did EU last week, so I wasn't casting these directly, and you did them. But that's great. I love to see that. That's homework being done by the gatekeepers and understanding. Hey, this performed well last week for them. Let's go ahead and take that pick away. We don't want to necessarily deal with it. So I like what gatekeepers is doing there, especially if they're going to be banning out gods that have had success on Quick Natas in the past. They're going to go ahead and ban out the Thanatos and the Chang'e, though. Gatekeeper is going to go double AD carry right now with the Uller selection. Well, Quignitas not going to have anything less. They're going to do it too.
So unless gatekeepers have picked up Sheikah, I would have been able to say, you know, maybe that's going to be a Cupid ADC, maybe they know something. That's going to be a Cupid mid. Next thing you know, that's going to be a Ymir jungle, and they're going to lock in another Guardian, or something's going to go crazy over here. But Gatekeepers, I mean, 2 Guardians, 2 Hunters going on for their pick. Uller, Ymir, it looks like, and now they're just going to be looking for their final jungle. Or maybe not, as I see Xing Chen hovered and locked in. That's a Ymir jungle or a Kabrakan jungle.
It's probably going to be Kabrakan, and that's going to go over to the Skelly, I would imagine, realistically, and then that's going to be Ymir. So this is a double ADC, triple Guardian composition. Haven't seen something like this in a long time. So that is interesting. Triple Guardians, double AD carries. How do you think it's going to work out for them?
It's going to be really interesting to see how they handle it. Of course, Kiki has played this Xing Chen before, and I feel like Skilodon does have the experience with a Kabrakan, so it's going to be interesting to see how they handle it, but we're just going to have to see how they do it in the game. And I mean, this is game 1. This is going to be for some of the marbles. Quignitas right now are at the top. If SBL Gatekeepers lose this, they could potentially get knocked down into relegations.
Yeah, so really must-win situations here for the Gatekeepers. Quignitas in a little bit of a better spot right now when it comes to things, as they are sitting at the top of the leaderboards. Some wards getting placed out early on. Don't want to deal with any of these invades, but, well, these drafts, I'm still kind of curious. Triple Guardian and double AD carries. I mean, the way Guardians swing in the itemization, I mean, Gatekeepers have a really strong PO composition, but let's not sleep on the Khepri and the rest of the crew here.
Yeah, I'm going to say right now, the fact that they have a Fenrir instead of a Guardian, the damage coming out from Giliara is really going to be what I think will kind of change the difference. Kabrakan can do a lot, but really Kabrakan does have that issue of still being a Guardian. He's tanky, and he just doesn't have the same kind of output that we'll see. And hopefully Giliara will be able to make that kind of impact for his team. But right now, they're getting outpushed by Venenu, who's actually on this Uller. That is a Cupid over there on Day to Remember.
Yeah, he's going to be running the ADC. It looks like the red team is going to go ahead and grab the elementals. Skelly and Veneu will do that. Speed buff, though, going to be secured by Quig and crew. Going over to the duo lane, though, we do have a lot of poke being handed out here on the left-hand side. And this benefits Gatekeepers because they have Day to Remember. And I don't know exactly. This was a funny conversation when F. was talking about the taco about Cupid. When's he going to level the hearts? When's he going to get that sustain? There's a meditation actually used by Genocide to go ahead and to stay out in lane longer, but they just hit 2, yeah.
All right, now, I mean, there's a lot of aggression coming out, and a lot of it seems to be from Gatekeepers. They're the ones who are kind of keeping everything going for them. Day to Remember with these heart bombs right now has been winning the poke war. They are starting to lose the clear right now. I feel like it's going to fall off where BennyQ will finally get that Impale leveled up, able to kind of start to clear it off, but he still has a little bit to go from that, and as long as they can dodge the heart bomb damage, they should be good to sustain in the lane. But right now, I mean, SPL Gatekeepers have that aggression on point.
Oh, they're looking to maintain that. It does look like they might be going for the small little ones here at the purple buff. No, actually, again, the push kind of even in the dual lane, so you're not able to necessarily get this invade. So BennyQ and Genocide will actually secure their purple buff, and so will they also get the red buff. So that's a positive. I mean, right now, this is a very even game. No invades going on. Looks like both lanes, both teams have even lane pressure across the board, and it's been positive.
That was one of those few moments where I am actually really happy the gatekeepers kind of fell back, even though it stopped what would probably be a fight. It showed how well how well they are communicating. Like Venenu and Skeleton are calling. We know where they went. They're going to their red buff. They're falling back right there. If you invade that purple buff, there are 4 members who are going to collapse on you. Don't go for it. And you see the duo lane slowly fall back, and they're just keeping that communication live, even without the wards down. Just having the comms across the lanes, being able to keep that intact.
Well, that's always good. You got to have the communication, man. We always say Smite is a team game, and it's very difficult when you're not communicating with the guys. And obviously, we do have the Ragnarok that came out here by the Ellies on the right hand side, but it looks like that's going to get canceled out immediately. So that ultimate will get used, but nothing going to come out of it.
Yeah, it's going to be one big one off the board for Quignitas here, but they could continue this aggression that they have, just because while Fenrir, like that ultimate is going to be really strong, it's not going to be enough. But on the other side, I actually see we haven't gotten the dual lane to level 5 yet, which is going to be really big if anyone wanted to make a rotation onto Minikyu and Genocide right now. That revive from Khepri completely off the board, but it looks like there's not going to be any aggression. Again, stalemates kind of all across the board, no one wanting to get caught out of position, because with these two teams and the skill, the first one to go down is going to lose so much.
Yeah, the first blood again. Oh, there is the Fields of Love right there. Benny Q forced to use the Purification. He's out, but they did hit level 5, so the turnaround is there. All right, the pull, Data Remember, half HP. There's the Shards of Ice. He's going to use the ultimate. Benny Q looking for anything, but not enough damage on the Desert Fury, and now the Fenrir is here.
Yeah, Giliara hiding in the jungle, waiting to make a rotation, but he's going to get spotted out. Skeleton's behind him, jumping in on the Data Remember, but a beautiful freeze, forcing the beads. Brutalize going to come through. First blood going on to him, and the revive going to save his life. Nerima and Skeleton going to continue chasing down, but they're not fast enough.
And the meditation was beautiful. Great execution right there for the first blood on Quignitas. I almost thought they weren't going to be able to pick that up. I was like, man, I was almost going to revert to if Ragnar
closing, we can see the stars shining through. Good evening, blinds closing. It's just me and you. Soft with the weather, cool with the breeze. Flip through the pages of reality. Float like a feather out to the sea. Roam like a lion, living wild and free. Just like that, snap my fingers. Just like that, dreams get bigger. Just like that, paint a picture. Just like that, just like that, just like, cause what you want, you have it. Just like
Gankatep over here on the solo side of things, as iFates is going to be in trouble, and he's going to get smashed down. Skilly will end up getting the kill on the Kabrakan jungle, so that's going to be one for him. Now blue buff, and I think there's a dog that might have bit off more than he could chew, but he's going to get away.
And manages to get away with his life and loses the buff for it. Genocide now, again, this is something I saw kind of yesterday while I was casting some games. It gets frightening when you aren't safe in your own jungle, and when you get a gank like that, when you have 3 members collapse and destroy your solo laner as easily as we saw Gatekeepers just do. Trying to get your own buff becomes scary, but Giliara still feeling himself going in for the invade. Gonna fall back almost immediately after spotting Skeleton, but going for the gank onto Nerima.
Oh, the Ragnarok into the Izanami ultimate. One of the best CC ultimates in the game is Fenrir, and that's the reason right there. You saw it demonstrated perfectly. You pick him up, and then all of a sudden another big ultimate coming out from Quig. That Izanami does a ton of damage on her ulti. It's going to get another kill for Quig.
Quignitas is going to be able to extend their lead a little further now. And honestly, I mean, it's still sitting at that 500 gold mark. They've been kind of teetering over. The experience is dead even between these two teams. Although Quignitas now looking at these Oracle Harpies should be able to clear that, get some free vision, and spot some rotations come out, and possibly get caught out as Skilladon's coming up behind him, but they're going to collapse on him.
Yeah, it's a bad position for Skilly right here. He's in a 3v1 scenario. There's the pull slash silence coming out. Venue and crew are there. The wall is good, and now there's a Benny Q behind them. They're looking to disengage, but the Terror ulti from the solo lane is strong. Fields of Love from behind, not going to be quite good enough yet. The meditation slash beads are used by Quig, and everyone walks away without dying.
Yeah, and it's going to be relatively big. Honestly, I feel like for Skilladon, that showed the strength of really having the Cabrakan in the jungle, the tankiness that he's going to be able to bring out throughout this match. He's going to be able to live through it. Of course, again, that comes with the deficit of not having as much damage output as Giliara, but he still should be building into some of this damage later on and should still be hitting relatively hard. And right now, I mean, the weakest side really seems to be Quignitas' solo lane. That's the only one that's really had such a big deficit. But one kill onto the jungle and one kill onto the mid should allow them to be a little bit more comfortable being able to push up the mid lane and potentially help out the duo.
Yeah, I mean, as far as the solo lane goes, Fates is doing what he can as the Terra in the solo. It's not that big of a deal to be a little bit down. This is kind of a slap fight. But looking at the items, like the reason, so tanky, you mentioned the Cabrakan. I want to go back to that. Looking at the items, Boomba's, the price differential that Boomba's received, I know people talk about it a lot, but it has been so huge for junglers because, look, now he's able to get this Mark of the Vanguard as well. So he's able to get the camps, he's able to get Vanguard, he's extra tanky. It just allows these junglers to buy this extra starter item and really make a mark in the game. And obviously that's what Skilly did. And speaking of making a mark in the game, maybe looking to do something on the right-hand side, but iFates must have smelled it out. They're going back to their buffs.
And being able to clear out their own buffs this time without any invade coming in. This is going to be relatively good. Again, they're just trying to farm up at this point. The experience and the gold is so close between these two teams that the kills are really going to be making a large difference. The next team fight, if one team can wipe 2 or 3 members, that's going to open up the Gold Fury. That's going to open up their entire jungle on one of the two sides wherever the team fight goes on. And honestly, for either of them, again, these teams are at the skill level where if you lose a team fight like that, you lose your lead, you lose the advantage. You don't lose the game, but you get in a very, very uncomfortable position.
Well, not losing their purification was Venue in the mid lane right there. Actually held onto the beads. Very disciplined right there. Half HP ended up falling down, but still didn't want to use the beads. Knew Nerima was there as far as the support goes and was able to take care of anything. So purification still up, but Ragnarok down. I mean, I'm going to go with a win for Gatekeepers just to be able to hold on to the relic.
Yeah, Giliara going in a little bit deep with this Ragnarok. Of course, Genocide and him still waiting around trying to go for somebody, but with 2 tanks, Nerima, Skilladon, Venenu, all going to be around here. The wall going to be good. Venenu going to take some damage. Giliara going on him in the back, but the jump is going to be good and it's going to save his life. The other two, they're too tanky to care.
Well, on the back end, Kepri did get a revive off. Now Benny Q is here, and Terra, iFates makes the rotation. Data, remember, gets slammed around and can't do anything. All these balls, Benny Q's a little bit cut off. Genocide's pretty low. He's just using the Rising Dawn from a distance. They might set up a Gold Fury bait here, but Oracle should definitely be the main objective. But Meditation does get used. They're looking to fight.
Gold Fury now sitting at about half health right now. Skilladon, Nerima coming in, and then we're going to see the plug Genocide going in. We're going to see the ult come down, a lot of damage. That's going to be a kill for Quig, as now Skilladon using those walls, walling off Giliara, but gets pinned against the wall himself, as now he's falling low, and they're chasing it down. Benny Q trying to get it, and is able to confirm that one, and that is going to be 2 kills. There are 4 members still strong, only losing Giliara for Quignitas,
This game
but they're not going to use the Gold Fury.
This game has an insane amount of walls. There is Cabrakan walls. There's Ymir walls. iFates has walls on the Terra. Did you see Skelly just he was just hanging around the Gold Fury trying to dodge these walls? There's a lot of walls, a lot of geometry that's going to be added to the map of this game as it goes on, and we'll see how it plays out. But you did mention that Quig gets advantage right there. They set up the bait. I almost thought they were going to commit too hard on it, but they are going to commit on this Portal Demon on the right-hand side. Kiki is going to smell this out and attempt to stop it, but what can he do? And it looks like just the one-man show and Kiki So Cheeky is going to actually deter them from doing Portal.
I think it's just the presence, knowing that as long as he can get that last tick damage, especially since he has damage over time, they don't want to risk it. They don't even want to let Gatekeepers have something that'll bring them back in, because that last team fight, I mean, it's still very little gold in their favor, but 500 in their favor for Quignitas. I mean, just keeping a little lead at this point is big. Losing the Portal Demon to Kiki would have been awful.
Well, let's see where the leads are actually at. Looking at the game, the graphs are relatively even. Plus 400 for red, plus 500 gold for blue. So realistically, we are looking at a very close game. Power spikes across the board are going to go to Kiki at level 12 with that Void Stone finished up. Actually, it looks like Fates just finished his up. Yeah, he didn't have it earlier. He must have just got back to base. Dynasty Plate Helm is finished on the Cabrakan. That's going to give him a little bit of physical protections here. Also going to give him a little bit of penetration. So he's going to start hitting even harder right now. And then across the board, you got about the same stacks coming across the Transcendence, Bolt Hunters, and everyone kind of doing relatively well. And across the board, again, this is an even game. I mean, Quig has 5 kills, but SPL Gatekeepers actually maintaining themselves relatively well. Yeah.
It's just good farm all across the board. They're splitting the experience and the gold just as well as they can across them, just kind of utilizing where their rotations have been so far. Venenu looking like he could get caught out if Genocide gets the root. He does get it. Not going to get the jump out. Venenu going to take some damage, but there's the beads. There's the jump.
Oh,
and he should be able to get out the wall.
Doggy, don't go here. That's it. You know, that's just as good as one of those electronic alarms where the dog can't go past this area. It's like, bam, wall, can't go here anymore. And the freeze is that's the power of the pull, and Nerima is in trouble. But the kill gets turned around as Glaria falls to Venue, and now they're chasing Quig. The impel to go ahead and get him against the wall is nice. So the stun, and now iFates is alone.
Kiki So Cheeky not going to be on the mark, throwing that ultimate out, not grabbing anybody. iFate's just trying to run away. Quig is here, though, and he's going to get stunned out, taking a lot of damage from Scaladon. That's going to be his death, but the revive comes through. Genocide once again saving his teammate.
I think he's 3 for 3 on that right now as far as great revives. Now with that Kepri ult down, they do understand they have an opportunity and a power play here. Gatekeepers going straight for the Gold Fury, and they are burning it down very quickly. Can anyone take it? Oh, they do secure it. I thought Fates was so close with that dash to the Monolith, but Kiki So Cheeky gives his life in return for the Gold Fury. I think he'll call it worth, as they do have 2 more Guardians standing to protect their 2 carries.
And with the rest of the team being able to fall back, they're finally taking a bigger chunk of a lead. It's been sitting around 500 gold. Now it's sitting at about 600 gold for SPL Gatekeepers. It is just teetering back and forth. But Quignitas using that advantage, getting the kill, pushing back Gatekeepers. They're turning that into the tier 1 tower in mid. And it looks like Benny Q is going to get aggressive on the day to remember, but not as confident enough to really sit under that tower and take the damage.
Looks like they might want to try to burn the Portal Demon, as Benny Q was over there on the left-hand side, but the crew from SPL Gatekeepers, they recognize it and they are here. But this time it looks like Quignitas not wanting to give it up. There's the wall. The freeze is good, and now, but he's so low. Glaria, he went way too ham. The Fenrir playing over aggressive ends up actually almost dying, and now Red Team is going to end up securing the Portal Demon for themselves as well.
They managed to get out. Everyone lives except for Giliar, and on the other side, I mean, Beniki one more time going to go down, and they actually trade perfectly one for one.
I wish I was there watching that, yeah.
The 2 ADCs, and that was just a really well-timed day to remember turn. I know I'm going to die, hit the Heart Bomb perfectly, gets the kill onto Beniki.
Heart Bomb, one of those abilities, like, after you win the basic attack battle with Cupid, you're like, yeah, I out 80 carried him. I hit my autos, I did everything, and then you got this little heart bomb that's hanging above your head, and you're like, crap, I'm going to die afterwards, aren't I? And yeah, without enough lifesteal necessarily, or the Aussie passive to click on, you're going to end up dying to that heart bomb. So that ends up being the 1-for-1 trade out, but Portal Demon and the momentum is kind of now shifting toward Gatekeepers as they start to expand their lead. 1,500 experience, just under 1,500 gold. At the 15, I mean, it's kind of funny, 15-minute mark, this is all, just happening. They're looking to push themselves in the lead, and they're going to get another kill on the jungler, Fenrir, just not having the impact he needs.
That one was just straight up bad positioning coming out from Giliar. He was alone, and while he wasn't his jungle, again, at this point in the game, it doesn't matter as we see Gatekeepers going deep. Skilladon going to take some poke. That stun not going to connect, but iFates looks to be the main addressee of a gank over here in the solo lane. Kiki going to go in with Neyrima, and at this point, it is just the battle of the tanks.
Well, let's see. Kiki's going to throw him around with the ultimate, and the freeze is good, so the CC chain is amazing. There's the Shards of Ice. A great axe over there. There's another ultimate coming out from Genocide, but I don't think that's going to be quite enough. iFates is relatively tanky, but the ultimate will still end up surviving. Oh, man, but poor Day to remember. Oh, I should say Benny Q. Poor Benny Q, as, well, Skelly's here behind him, and he just uses jump.
Yeah, he's going to try to run away, but the stun's going to come down. A lot of damage, forcing the beads and the Aegis, but I don't think that's going to be enough to save his life. Trimmer's coming through. He used the pillar, and it almost saved his life, but it just blocks some
He didn't want
shots,
to. He just used the
prolonging the
ultimate.
inevitable.
Yeah. Skelly was just like, all right, I'm tired of this. I'm just going to use the ultimate. I'm done. That just comes down to really map awareness and lack of vision. There are no wards. Look at the map right now. You'll see 2 blue wards, and it's or 3 blue wards. They're all over here on the right hand side. One over by FG, one near the blue buff, and then one between the speed and the mid lane. But on the left hand side, there is no vision, and that's got to be Benny Q's job. He's got to go ahead and get those wards up. We do see Genocide that has the ward Chalice and the Sentry ward, but no one else on his team.
Yeah, this is really going to be bad for Quignitas now. Falling onto their back footing, losing even more of the lead that they kind of had. It was a small lead, but now it's sitting 3,000 gold in favor of Gatekeepers, as well as 3,000 experience. And, I mean, that's been a minute and a half since the last time we looked at that. They have doubled what they had. And I expect to see them do pretty similar things for the next couple of minutes. Again, these team members are very experienced in that. And right now, they're going to be able to grab these Oracle Harpies. They just have the timers and the rotations down for all of the jungle camps.
Well, that's the big thing about season 4. It's very, very micro. It starts off very micro. And then all of a sudden, once you get to this 10, 15-minute mark, remember last season how I said teams didn't really know how to play past 25 minutes? Well, it seems like there's a thing now in season 4 where it's like this 15-minute as Quig is getting erased in the mid lane. Auto attacks are strong. Venue's just jumping on in. Axe not going to connect right there, but the revive would have got him back up anyways. So Kefri Ultimate is going to be down and an invade by speed occurring.
And Giliara once again just getting caught out in his own buff, trying to defend it, trying to secure that. But now it's looking good as Data Remember making the rotation over. Body blocks onto Genocide, going to cause him to lose his life in the Fields of Love. Data Remember gets credit for that. Shards of Ice coming down. Giliara taking a lot of damage. Skeleton going to erase him off the board. Now with iFates making the rotation, he gets the root, but the wall's going to block some of the damage, not all of it, as we see Benny Q throwing out these autos and trying to do anything. But it is a 5v3 right now. Quig getting erased off the board slowly but surely, able to get out by the skin of his teeth, and the heal coming through from iFates might be enough to keep the team alive, but not enough to save this tier 2.
Oh my goodness, 3 Guardians are just so absolutely annoying to deal with, the amount of CC that they have, and then even the Hunter selection. Again, the Uller does have an Axe stun as well. This is another form of CC. Cupid has a Heart Bomb. He has a Cripple on his ultimate. This team composition draft by Gatekeepers is working out very well right now at this mid-game point near the 20-minute mark as we sit. And, well, they got to try to defend this. Gold Fury does Quignitas, but it is going to go Gatekeeper's way. Fates is going to use one dash. Quig is going to end up using his to get away as well, but the fight is still going on as Kiki throws Fates back.
Yeah, Benny Q going to take a little bit of poke. All 5 members of Gatekeepers really able to turn their tides, but they're going to go back, and I like this call. They're going to go back and get the confirmed experience, the confirmed gold, anything they can pick up, spend some of the gold they just earned from those fights plus the Gold Fury. And at this point, they're just coming back into this next fight even stronger, and I expect to see them go possibly for the Portal Demon or the Fire Giant.
Well, to kind of recap what's going on in this game, guys, we had for the first, I would say, 13 to 14 minutes was a very close game. We're talking about plus 500 experience and gold in really either direction. And then all of a sudden, we had one fight, and that seems to be the way Season 4 is. And all of a sudden, Gatekeepers, once the team fight phase started and they started rotating, really this triple Guardian draft that they've selected, working out very strong in their favor.
It's definitely giving them that extra front line, and honestly, the tankiness to survive through these fights. While Giliara can output more damage than we'll see from Skeleton, I mean, at this point, Skeleton has that level advantage by 4. Giliara at level 12, not going to have any sort of impact on this Fenrir when you're fighting into level 16s, level 17s, and just not able to find the damage. He gets burnt down and CC'd way too quick, and that's really the benefit of all of these Guardians. Gatekeepers have the CC chains.
Yeah, that's CC rules. I mean, you can only beads one thing. That's that's going to be your problem. Is you're only allowed to use purification beads one time, and that's within 160 seconds. So once that's down, they're going to get you the rest of the way. And with the amount of CC that the Gatekeepers have, and as good as they are, they're going to end up chaining that very well, as you see it on Quig. Freeze into stun into the Kefri revive, which will keep him alive for now. But again, the fight continues with the Terror Ultimate. It doesn't matter. Tier 2 will end up falling as these dual carries are just pounding on it.
Now, the question is, what do Gatekeepers want to do right now? And it looks like they're going to go for a second tier 2. Benny Q is pushing over on the left-hand lane by his lonesome, But at the same time, they're losing 2 tier 2s. He might be able to pick up the 1. Nobody's going to be backing from Gatekeeper. So they're looking to confirm the second one, or at least start a fight, because they don't have an ADC on Quignitas to really output any damage.
Well, this seems like classic Benny to me. Oh, crap, my team's in trouble. I'm going to go ahead and try to attempt a split push. I don't dislike this. I think as long as they can keep him here. Quignitas needs to keep the team here, and it looks like the 3 members now 4 looking to back, and it's Skelly. I was trying to find him on the map. He does end up backing, actually, so now Benny Q is forced. I was going to say, if they can keep them there, Benny Q does have an opportunity to maybe take this Phoenix, but unable to keep all 5 members on the right-hand side. Leads to the backs, leads to Benny Q having to also go back.
Yeah, all in all, going to be, again, more advantage for Gatekeepers being able to get 2 tier 2s, trading them out, bringing their gold lead. It's still now sitting at 7,000 in their favor, which is going to be, again, very, very comfortable for them. They can fight into this very well. As iFates and Kiki, again, they're going through this solo lane fight, just kind of smacking each other around, but neither of them really having too much. Yeah, it's just 2 Guardians. It's the same old solo lane.
Nothing gonna happen. I mean, 2 Warriors, now there's 2 Guardians. It's really whatever. So I decided to kind of check out top player damage. I was like, I wonder who's top player damage right now. Just kind of curious. Benny Q sitting at 14-5. He's been doing work, but here's the issue with the team, and this kind of tells truth to the game itself. 7 to 10 Reaper kills. Look at the next 4 people. I mean, they're all on SPL Gatekeepers. The next highest damage is a Terror soloing. You know, this Izanami mid is really not done the damage. I mean, there's been a couple of great ultimates with Fenrir, and you know, we've seen some synergy here and there, but the damage has not come out from this mid Izanami. And speaking of damage, well, Data Remember is going to take a lot of it on the left-hand side as they try to take this tier 2.
And he's going to take a little bit of poke, but again, they're just going to fall back. Quignitas chasing this down. Benny Q and Quig going to be joined soon by Giliara and Genocide, but it doesn't look like they're going to be able to get anybody they really want. Neyrima going to root himself down on the Shards of Ice, but going to get some damage out. Quig finally going to be able to get some kill with that damage that he has. Now sitting at 3-0-3. But they just take the support. That's not really a big thing for Gatekeepers. They have 2 other Guardians
they got
still in that front line.
Absolutely. I'm literally laughing the same thing. Like, I heard it 2 Universe. It's like, yeah, what does it really matter? And then also, they use Ragnarok on the Ymir that was standing still. As soon as he gets up, they Ragnarok him. So versus, like, trying to grab somebody else, maybe, they end up using it on a really what I considered already dead Ymir. So, you know, Quig, yeah, they go for the guaranteed, but maybe they could have got a little bit more. This lead is 7,000 gold at this point. This is where it's getting very dangerous to fight. Let's take a look at the items. I mean, we've got a full Spirit Robe completed on top of Kiki. The items are mounting as a Stone of Binding. This is a new item in Season 4 on the Kabrakan. Going to give penetration aura to those around him anytime there's hard CC at Kabrakan. Well, he's got 2 stuns. There's going to be plenty of auras to give. I like the choice right here. And then the carries, well, they already got the Kins online. They're going damage, and they are wrecking right now. So SPL Gatekeepers are going to be really tough to stop with the 7K gold lead.
And right there, they just extended even further because they got that Gold Fury. Benny Q almost able to take it away using that ultimate, but wasn't able to quite get the last tick of damage. And, I mean, all in all, this has kind of been the story where Quignitas, they've been in the right position for a lot of these objectives. They just haven't quite found what they want to, and I feel like a lot of it is the fact Giliara, he keeps getting picked off, and I feel like that's partially his positioning and partially Gatekeepers just having a very good targeting on their team, just being able to say, kill that Fenrir, get rid of him, don't let him do what they want Fenrir to do and set up the rest of the team. And he hasn't been able to live through a single engagement, I think.
Well, the problem is if Fenrir jumps in to go ahead and ult anybody, especially if it's one of the carries, there's just 3 Guardians to peel and ult, you know, and help him out as iFates is getting absolutely demolished by the Fire Giant. It did get pulled, and the FG is throwing out its lava rocks, and everyone's getting mad at it, but the red team doesn't care. They're like, we'll hang out here. We've got Terra heals. We've got Cupid heals. We're going to take the Portal Demon as well, and they are looking to put themselves ahead. At some point, they might back and go for Fire Giant.
I mean, right now, sitting at levels 18, 18, 19, 15, 19, like, they are not worried about the Fire Giant's damage.
Skelly
they are
has
able to kind of fight in this.
Yeah, Skelly has a Frenzy online. They might use the pop this in this engagement. You look for possibly a disengaged turnaround fight, or they're just going to end up using it on top of the Fire Giant. One of the two is going to happen. Let's see what they decide to choose.
I like that they're going in. Kiki now caught out because of the wall from his team, but the rest of his team understand the call, going for the Fire Giant. Quig going to be walking in, frozen out. Gonna use those bees just to try and stay alive, trying to steal it over the wall. Goes through it, but Gatekeeper is going to be able to confirm that one now. Forced to use his dash just to get away, and the rest of Quignitas falling back as fast as they can. They recognize what they lost, and now they're trying to get out.
Little sloppy take, but they still end up securing it. Quig is the man left alone. He wasn't able to press that B button or whatever his hotkey is to back in time. And, well, he'll take a free trip to base without having to use any buttons on his keyboard. He can take a bathroom break for the next 40 seconds as he will be dead.
Yeah, he's going to have to do a lot of vision for his team watching around. And right now we see Gatekeepers. They're lining themselves up for a Phoenix here. All 5 members with Fire Giant, 4 of them in the right-hand lane, 1 of them pushing down in the mid lane. And I mean, with a 10,000 gold lead at this point, they're going to be relatively comfortable as iFates again caught out. Revive going to come through though, and it's going to save him for a little bit longer, but Skeleton blinking in, wants to go for the damage. We're going to see Kiki throw Giliara. The beads come out just to stop that aggression, but they still get the Phoenix, and they're going for the mid one.
Oh, I mean, this is just absolutely free, pretty much. I mean, the Guardians are just taking up all the damage, and the 2 carries. Look at these builds. I mean, they're literally identical. Only difference is attack speed boots versus the Warrior Tabis, and Benny Q is feeling the damage as he's going to end up getting erased. Data remember, we'll get that when they have a tier 2 on the left-hand side to go ahead and clean up as well. And Quignitas, well, at this point in time, I don't really know what they can do. 2 Phoenixes down. Fire minions are getting ready to start pouring in. Left Phoenix is also looking to fall at some point in time, and they are just on the back foot.
And Quignitas having to fall back, defend all of the minions that are now going to be pushing down mid and right, and try to defend this left-hand Phoenix, but it looks like Fate's once again going to get caught out. The damage reduction coming out from Genocide, but it's not doing a lot as Fate's still getting chunked down, forced to use his heal root dash just to get away. Quig dashing as well. Kiki going to get pulled in, but again, with 3 Guardians, they don't care too much as Quignitas, Titan under attack, iFate's fallen down, Benny Q still off the board, Quig now taken down, Giliard forced to jump away, and that's another and 3rd final Phoenix. This should be the Titan as we see Gatekeepers just run on in.
Yep, Frenzy gets popped right there. The Titans will end up falling. SPO Gatekeepers take game number 1 in this 2-game set, just under the 28-minute mark. Quignitas looking to make some adjustments here in game number 2 with their draft. Maybe get rid of some of these Guardians so Gatekeepers can't go this triple Guardian composition again.
Yeah, they're going to have to look more into that. I mean, honestly, the Kabrakan ban would be something I'd expect because normally we see that go to Kiki, but of course, Skeledon now showing his prowess 4-1-9 during that last match. I expect to see Quignitas do something a little bit different during their picks and bans, or just try to handle 3 Guardians. It's a little bit more tough for them, but I expect to see something come out different from Giliara and maybe something different for Quig here, really, just to get some more damage online. They had 3 physical damage dealers really coming out from it. iFate's really the only magic damage along with Genocide, so nothing good coming out from them. I'd like to see Quig, if they run that comp again, change him to a mage.
Yeah, absolutely. It does make a lot more sense. So we're going to be right back with the second game of this set, everyone. SPO Gatekeepers takes this one, as I mentioned, versus Quig. We'll be right back for game 2. Stay tuned. And welcome back to our second game of the afternoon. We have SPL Gatekeepers versus Quignitas. Gatekeepers was able to take out Quig in game number one with a triple Guardian set and a double AD carry draft. Let's see where they go to this time, Gormizer. What do you expect?
I expect to see Quignitas. I mean, they have to do something about the triple Guardian that Gatekeepers were able to run, or we might see Gatekeepers kind of go back towards old bands coming out. Sylvanas, Serket, Thoth again. Three bands that aren't too surprising. Hunbat's taken off the bat, which is just to get rid of Giliara's, I want to say, comfort pick, really. And I mean, we saw what happened last game on that Fenrir, just not as effective as he would have wanted.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the band worked out relatively well, unable to get the Humbats. He went to engage on this Fenrir. It worked out in a couple of engagements. We saw the CC, we saw Quig on the Izanami at the time in the mid lane. It really worked out in some aspects, but at the end of the game, once the team fight phase started and once the rotations started being a factor, right around that 15 to 20 minute mark, really the Guardians just kind of took over for Gatekeepers and did really well. So Quig is going to first select Bracken this time around. Last time it was the Terra, but this time Gatekeepers is going to take Terra.
Yeah, just swapping those first two picks really across the board, taking that away. And honestly, I like the fact that Quignitas took that because there was a lot that Skeleton was doing in that last game that was setting up for his team, allowing him to, not just the walls, but like the stuns, the trimmers, allowing his team to really just kind of steamroll. And now we're seeing, I mean, Kabrak and Ymir, this is what we saw Gatekeepers run last time. So Quignitas trying to run that comp. And they grabbed the Izanami again. I'm not sure how I feel about it, but they are confident in it and they're going to go for it. But Yanis on the other side, honestly, I'm liking Gatekeepers a little bit stronger right now.
Well, they have an actual mage. So, when you go triple Guardian and you go double Hunters, obviously you have one concept in mind. It's peel for your AD carries, get that physical damage, and then you're looking to go ahead and your Guardians want to be able to. I think Quig kind of like walked into what Gatekeepers wanted to do because, again, as you mentioned, there was just three physical, characters. So they could just build physical defense and win the game. In this aspect, now they're going to have to worry about the magical damage with Giannis.
One more time, we're seeing, again, that just Benny Q respect band come out on that.
Kepri band, though, came out. And
the Kepri band came out, which, I mean, Genocide that last game, that was big. His revives were resetting a lot of the work that Gatekeepers would do. And the Cupid Shin band, like, these are the last four bands that have come through are straight up respect for the other team.
I mean, that just shows, again, these guys knowing each other very well. And Data, remember, did have a heck of a game on that Cupid last time around. And, well, Kiki so cheeky, he is a Jingten main, as we want to call it. He's been playing that character for a decent amount of time in the solo lane. Honor going to be the AD carry selection for Gatekeepers. The last two picks, though, for Quig, going to be Chiron and Fafnir. So they're going to try triple Guardians.
We're seeing the triple Guardian again. Fafnir and Chiron, though, are, I want to say, really out of the ordinary for pretty much most of the picks that we have seen. Fafnir, not necessarily the worst Guardian, and Chiron, not really the worst. ADC, and it's just going to be interesting to see how Quickness will handle that. But on the other side, we again 2 more Guardians. We have a Terra and Athena, and normally, I mean, I'd say, oh, it's obviously Terra support and Athena in the solo lane, or Athena support and Terra in the solo lane, but it's really up in the air because Kiki likes both.
Well, let's get in the game right now and see what ends up happening on paper. You know what? I'm going to have to agree with you here, Gore. I do think Gatekeepers might have the better squad, and I'm going to say one word and one word only, and that's global ults.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and give it to the Thor, the Athena, and the Giannis. The ability to travel anywhere on the map and do things is going to be huge. I think that Skelly's going to have a huge impact on the store. He's going to be trying to gank this AD carry in the mid lane, and he's going to try to gank the AD carry in the dual lane as well. And then obviously through space and time, and Athena ultimates can be used to travel along as well. I think that's going to be the difference maker in this game.
I honestly am looking right at Benny Q. I have no idea how this Chiron is going to go, but if there is anyone who is going to play someone who is not regarded as a top ADC and do well with it, it is Benny Q. I mean, like we were talking about this before the game started. This is where we have seen a guy run Hades and Zhonghui ADC and be successful. So it's really up in the air for how this goes, but early on, he's going to have a little bit of a rough time, especially against the Honor.
Well, having a rough time, let's talk about the fact that I don't know where you were at in the camera at level 1, but Purification is burnt on Thor as the Slam Jam Tremors over here from the jungler really were just making Skelly just walk in directions he didn't want to walk to, and Izanami auto attacks were wrecking him, so he had to use the beads really early. So that's going to be down for the next 130 seconds. We'll see if that has an effect once these characters hit near level 5 or get their CC online.
Giliara having, I want to say, a little bit more fruitful rotation so far on this Kabrakan game than I saw out of him on that Fenrir, but he is going to end up losing some of his experiences, the red buff being taken away, and I like this. Gatekeepers, they get the push advantage because we see Kabrakan leave the lane, and they just take the buff away.
Yeah, they went for the whole red buff as well. Hammer was wisely saved. They're going to go ahead and get out. Red buff invade successful. Looks like the purple buff will be the only thing that they're able to secure on the left-hand side. Benny Q and his support. Geno side will end up grabbing that. And now we do see Terra in the solo lane. Obviously, Terra was just in the solo lane before. Now she's in the dual lane as a support. What are your thoughts as far as Terra in the solo lane or the dual lane and vice versa?
I feel like the duo lane, it's going to be slightly more beneficial, at least for Day to remember early on, because of the healing that we're going to see coming out from Nerima. Whereas for the solo lane, of course, you get the benefits a lot later during the rotations. You get a lot of rooting. But unfortunately for iFates, I feel like he just got kind of camped last game. He wasn't really able to showcase the strengths that Terra has. Nerima looking to kind of bring that back, and I expect to see a lot because he's going to be rotating around the map as much as possible. I expect to see him have a larger impact than we saw out of iFates just because of where he is, as we're going to be seeing Benny Q forced to beads, dash away, and the red buff taken away. Giliara taking a little bit of a poke, going for the two-man stun. Tremors coming out. They're looking for the first blood, not able to get it just because Day to remember Venenu doing a lot of zoning for their team.
Well, 3 minutes in the game and a lot of fighting, but no first blood just yet. It looks like the Oracles are at least going to be the prize for Quignitas. They'll get a little bit of free vision. They'll get that wonderful golden experience, and they'll call it a day. But looking over here on the right-hand side, Elementals. So Kiki, so cheeky. Something we did not talk about, actually, as we were kind of going off of other aspects here, is that he has the Hand of the Gods, and this has been reworked as Bennu taking a lot of poke damage in the mid lane, but he should be fine right here. But the items, Wrath, or all not Wrath anymore. They changed it. Hand of Gods now. So this has been altered to really help clear jungle camps, and also now has a little bit of damage on top of minion bosses like the Gold Fury. So yeah, this is a great. I want to see how this works out. The Hand of the Gods.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I've seen it a few times across the last couple of weeks, but it hasn't really been a big pickup. It's been for things, I think actually Kiki has been the one picking it up, so it's kind of a staple for him, really. Whereas right now, it's just going to be interesting. He's going for the 3 starter item build right now. He's got the Bumbas, he's got the Swift Wing, and the Mark of the Vanguard. I saw him do this last week, and it kind of worked out for him, but at the same time, it feels really weird to see that and look down. I've gotten used to the 2 starter items, but seeing the 3, he's going for a lot of utility early on.
Well, again, with Boomba's being 500 only, and you get the Vanguard, it's kind of like, it's not that big. The Swiftwing's he's not getting teleport. So that's the reason for Swiftwing. He wants to be able to get back to base quickly, understanding that it doesn't have TP. So I get the concept of the Swiftwing, and that's what it's there for. it's an alternative choice for those who don't want to get teleport in the lane. You can get Swiftwing, and it's very similar to those who haven't used Swiftwing to Jingwei passive. It brings you to about the same distance, versus flying or just walking.
This has been the second game for Quignitas where, like, I feel like they have a relatively strong draft that they could abuse and try to fight more often, and they aren't taking early game fights. They aren't using the CC they have just yet, and because of it, they're losing a lot of these jungle camps. And again, it's just a very small lead for Gatekeepers. It's really only like 200, 100 gold, but it's enough that as they expand it, they're going to go through. But Kiki going to get caught out. 2 ultimates, 3 ultimates, 4 ultimates dropped just to get down onto him. That is a lot for the 1 kill onto the Athena.
Wow. And he almost got away. All those starter items making work. Now imagine if the Hands of Gods actually still stunned. He probably would get away there. He had it up and available. He actually could have got away if it's still stunned. But sadly, no more Hand of the Gods stunning, so he does end up falling for first blood. But his ultimate wasn't channeled, so he still actually does have that available to him. Not going to be a loss. First blood goes the way of Quig at the cost of 4 ultimates in. Well, they're looking to get some of that payback. Venue with the portal drop, looking for any sort of damage in return. The meditation is strong and will bring everyone back to life. Now the turnaround, though.
We have Venenu going to use that 3 space and time just to get away. Nerima going to have Athena coming in, and here comes crashing down Skeleton, trying to get some damage down. Quig still alive. The taunt going to be good. Kiki going to be able to pick up that one, and without using 4 ultimates, able to pick up those kills. Although now we're going to see the turnaround. Kiki taking some damage. Venenu going to fall in the backline as Chiron has made that rotation. Viniq looking for some kills. He's going to be going now. Skeleton using that fucking spin to win, and there we go. Biniq gonna fall down, and that's going to be another kill right there. Giliara rooted down, iFate's rooted down, Genocide rooted down. They're trying to run away, but they're just not going to be able to make it.
Wow, I mean, all of a sudden we went from no fighting for 6 minutes into fighting, which is the way it's always going to be. It seems like Kiki going to go ahead and at least get the speed buff on the right-hand side, so he'll get that invade successful. No speed buff for the blue side. Quig, all of a sudden they got the 1 kill on the right. They end up getting invaded back on the middle. Gatekeepers ends up picking up 2 kills, and now it looks like they're at least going to go for the Oracles here on the left-hand side as well. No vision, or limited vision, I should say, as there's only 1 blue ward here. They need to get some red wards around this Gold Fury as well.
And right now, Quignitas again falling back, just trying to do their best. Again, they're not having the same impact that they really could be having right now. Kills tied up. Giliar going to get rooted down. He's going to go back. He actually throws up the wall, but a nice portal going to stop that CC damage coming down. Neyrima going to be taking a lot of poke, and this Trimmer is doing way more. Genocide going up into the dragon form. 1 more auto could do it, but Neyrima using that speed to get away. The portal going to be good, and no one going to be able to get him.
Wow, he gets away with one-shottable. I mean, that's the most upsetting thing, is to see somebody get away when they're one-shottable. It's just so disappointing that you're not able to secure that kill. They're going to end up coming back, and you got to figure out where that damage is going to come from. These AD carries, that's the thing. When you do go double AD carries, we kind of saw this with Gatekeepers. Their composition really didn't come around until that 12 to 15 minute mark, when they were able to get that mid-game, those Transcendence online, and etc. Right now, neither Hunter has a Transcendence going. None of them really have major power spikes, so the damage is relatively limited from these 2 carries. That's going to be causing the issues that you see here with the lack of damage, able to take out that tank. But going to the graphs and everything, Experience is a slight, small lead in the favor of Gatekeepers, about 1,000. Gold is really non-existent, plus or minus a few here or there. Not that big of a deal as we kind of go through the recap and seeing where everyone's at. Thor is looking to go ahead and get himself a kill. Ultimate was good, but Genocide jumps over the wall. He's going to take an unstable vortex to the face. And, well, Glory will get portaled as iFate's cleaned up Kiki on the right-hand side, solo style.
It gets that solo kill and is proxying the farm. And right now, Skeleton immediately making the rotation over here, knowing that exactly where iFates is standing is not a good position. He might be able to stop the back if he gets there fast enough. He's going for it. And iFates stops the back. He's low health, goes for the freeze. Going to run through the tower because he has minions here. But Skeleton's chasing him down.
This is one of the worst feelings as a solo later. Like, when you get that kill, but you had to go behind the tier 1. Meditation, though, is good. iFates is still going to be alive. So I'm laughing because you see iFate. I clicked over there once I saw the kill, and you see iFate just struggling to clear out the 1 minion that's stopping his back. And it's so annoying to deal with, as Quig is going to get erased in the mid lane. They're going to end up expending the Athena ultimate for that, even though it wasn't needed at all. But Athena will at least get back into the mid lane and possibly make a rotation here to cut off anybody that needs the help. But yeah, it's just it's always funny to see those guys get away like that. And Venue gonna be trapped, but the wall is gonna let him get a portal out. And well, he's the god of portals. He'll do that.
Genocide one more time going into that Dragon 4, jumping in onto Neyrima, who has no mana. The stun lock is good, and that's going to be another kill. Genocide gets credit for that one. And Giliara now looking for wherever Kiki has run. But Kiki's back in the solo lane, going to be able to go through the speed buff stolen away.
Again.
Try to just confirm his own blue buff at this point. They are losing their experience, but they are being able to get these picks using those CC locks. There's a lot of slippery members on Gatekeepers, though.
Yeah, I mean, they're able to get away relatively clean with that Giannis. So that's going to be the biggest factor. Once this gets into the team fights, using the portals, getting people in and out. I mean, he's able to utilize the portals pretty well in that one little mid lane fight. Able to get away from the bracket ultimate as well. Left-hand side, though, Benny Q. I just saw him kind of dash away as Skelly came around the area. Now ultimate used, so should be fine. But again, Vision going to red on the Oracles, that's going to be big as they have an opportunity to do Gold Fury, and they do have a little bit of vision down below it. So they can see everybody that's going around. But no attempt on this Gold Fury just yet from either squad.
I really feel like, again, Quignitas, like Quig is on this Izanami. This is the second game we've seen it, and I just feel like that he hasn't had that same impact that he's really wanted. This game, he has a little bit more damage going on right now. He's a little bit higher in the damage charts overall, but it's still just not quite what it is. I expect that this is really for that late game push on towers, along with what we're going to see out of Benny-Q, who's actually had some fruitful rotations, but again, some names that haven't really been spoken out except for either when Quig dies or that one rotation that Benny-Q has made so far.
Oh, we do have a quick pause right here. By day to remember, we will see what's going on. If the people that are in my head, the voices in my head will tell me how long the pause is going to be, or if we're going to fast forward, then we can go ahead and continue the conversation. Oh, we're just going to keep going, it looks like. This is always an awkward part.
Looking at the map, the way it is right now, it's looking very, very difficult for anybody really on Quignitas to get their footing where they want to go. And really, they're losing the camps that they really need to be picking up. They're falling behind. They haven't really been able to just get what they want out of the CC chains. And they've been dumping ultimate after ultimate into one kill every single fight. And so far, I mean, it's kind of working for them with the 4 kills versus the 3, but still, it's just, I don't like seeing that. I'd much rather just see the ganks coming out like from the Thor.
They had the lead last time, and the portal. I thought Skelly was going to end up taking the spill right there, but just not quite enough damage. Again, no Transcendent stacked on Izanami, just attack speed boost. This is 20 physical power, and then a Death Storm. I mean, this is a character that has 50 power only at 12 minutes in the game. Not going to be quite enough, but iFates is going to get Venue. I didn't even see what was going on. I was watching near the Gold Fury, and all of a sudden, as Genocide's going to go into the Dragon form, Kiki's here, forced to run away.
Three-man
landing in the back line.
3-man grab, but it's not going to be enough to get him. Skeleton falling off the board immediately. And Benny-Q using that last shot of the ult to get some damage onto the Gold Fury. Now Giliara trying to do some zoning, and the Trimmers, the wall, going to be good enough. They should be able to confirm that Gold Fury. And as we see Data Remember trying to throw out some damage, now Neyrima going to be the one who's poking down, but going to be able to get out 1 HP one more time.
So was that Skilly just all of a sudden? Yeah, you said 3-man ultimate. I was kind of, Blink Data Remember gonna be in a little bit of trouble as the Blink freeze did come through. iFates went for the gamble, not gonna pay off directly, but will be just enough to deter everybody, and they will back. So I saw Skeleton like land on a bunch of people, and you were like 3-man as I was kind of looking up, but he just went in alone though. So he hit 3 members and he went in by himself.
And the wall game coming out. I mean, you mentioned it last game. There are a lot of walls on the side of Quignitas this time, though. And honestly, just walled off from the rest of his team. He tried to get away and wasn't able to find it, and they burnt him down faster than he could really react to what had gone on. And as a result, I mean, I feel like that's going to be the play. If that sticks in their minds, Gatekeeper lose the Gold Fury just because Skeleton, he went up, I want to say a little bit too soon. His team wasn't prepared.
Sometimes, when you're a Thor, you just see 3 or 4 juicy members on the ground. You're like, ooh, they're all grouped. I'm going to go ahead and get them. You get that that image in your mind. You're like, I'm just going to slam on them. You're going to get your whole combo off and you're going to kill them all. That's what you're thinking with your passive. And all of a sudden you land and then you die and then you lose the Gold Fury and then you find yourselves down 2k gold. then you got to regroup. So that's what SPL Gatekeepers has to really do. They got to get a little regrouping going on. They're only down 600 and some odd experience and just under 1,700 gold, as iFates here is going to get portaled. And iFates is in a blue buff corner by himself. iFates will fall. There it is.
That's I feel like we touch on this a lot. I feel like this has been some, like, the phrase has come out of my mouth a lot the last few weeks. Positioning. Just knowing, like, you need wards, you need vision, and you need to know where they are in correlation to where you are. And when you are in the middle of a blue buff and there are 4 members around you, that is not
Something's
where
wrong.
you want to be.
Somebody on your team didn't say, hey, they're missing. Somebody along the line didn't say something as the portal demon gets started. Stun going to come out. Skilly's going to be in a little bit of trouble. There's the ultimate, though. It gets leashed out. Who got it? Blue team gets the portal demon with, I believe, the Dragon Breath coming out from Genocide. Fire Giant did get pulled. They got to be careful. The knockup is actually going to cause Genocide to fall. There's the Thor slam you wanted to see to begin with. Quig ends up taking the spill now as well. Their space of time was used. Blink in by iFates. It came back up. Venue gets that kill, but there's the Iceman. He's going to end up blowing up Nirma. And now he's looking to get away with a wall. A 1-for-3 trade, though, with a tier 1 / possible tier 2 on the left-hand side. No TP coming in from Thor, saves the tower.
That stops Benny Hugh from doing that split push that he's been trying to do these last couple games. And honestly, that brings Gatekeepers right back into the contending. Right now, though, they still are behind 1,500 gold, but the experience is in their favor at about 1,000.
Wow. I'm just, that Fire Giant, I will say this, like, one of the more interesting things has been this Portal Demon since it's been in Season 4, and this has been a very weird objective to fight over, especially in this small little pit of the Fire Giant, because one large AoE ability, if you start fighting it, and teams are really good at this, like, I love to do it. If I'm fighting by Portal, you almost try to pull Fire Giant if you're the other team. You're like, oh crap, I'm in trouble. You want the other team to pull Fire Giant for those knockups, and in this aspect, it actually ends up hurting Genocide.
And get that extra damage come down. Essentially, have a 6th member really on the map, kind of fighting for you, and we saw that come through. As now, again, Trimmer is going to come through. I thought we were going to see some aggression, but Gatekeepers not wanting to fight into that one just yet. And I like the fact Quignitas, they're hovering over on this right-hand side of the map. They're going to give up the Oracle Harpies, but they're in a good position to really try and fight and contend for a Fire Giant if they want to. But Quig taking a little bit too much poke from the Athena. That completely takes him out. He needs to go back and heal.
Pen Boots, Athena, Spirit Robe, super tanky right now. Getting the Ward Stone. This will turn into a Void Stone online. I mean, we're talking about a level 16 Athena. I mean, it doesn't matter even if this Athena had full damage or not. Quig is level 13. And this is one of the issues I have with bringing a Hunter into the mid lane. I feel like Hunters are great and as valuable as they are, they just don't get the shine as much in the mid lane unless you're truly one of the most effective farming teams out there. Because look at Benny Q, he's 16, and now you've got Quig at 13. He's just not nearly as effective versus these tanky characters. And it's just a matter of everyone's always in mid, you know, everyone's there.
That, and I still feel like it comes down to the fact that a lot of their damage, I mean, this game, they have a little bit more magical side stacked, but with the 3 Guardians, I feel like the output just isn't good. I much would have rather seen iFates on a Warrior doing that tanky frontliner and allow Quig to get some of that magical burst damage, get him to play some other mage that is going to have a much better time in this mid lane, something like the Yanis, who so far, I mean, we have seen portals, we have seen unstable vortex, and through space and time save team members on Gatekeepers and just completely stop aggression from Quig, where they haven't been able to do anything on Quignitas because, again, no real damage output coming out from the mid lane.
Well, the damage output's going to come eventually. It might come at the 25-minute mark if they get their Haste and Fatalis online for both AD carries. That means we're going to be looking at some very... You see how fast Quig is right now in Benny Q. They're just running around when they hit things. It's one of the most annoying items in Smite. I'll proudly say that. As Nerema is going to get stunned out. CC, knockback, great chain of events. The ultimate comes out. Nerema in trouble. He's going to try to escape. The through space of time might be able to get him out in time. Benny Q falls, though, to Skillydon. And now, all of a sudden, this is a bad fight for Quig.
Quig gonna take the double tap to the face. Skeleton gonna teleport in. Aegis used. Spin to win coming down. Meditation gonna save his life a little bit longer as now he's just trying to get away. Quig gonna be able to pick up the kill on the Skeleton, looking for Neruma, but he's going to ultimately fall from the one auto data. Remember, Neruma still juking and is able to live so far. Shards of Ice gonna be used to confirm the one-hit Terra, and that's 3 members for 2. Quignitas, that was just sloppy all around.
If Nerima got out of there, that goes into the top 10 juke plays of all time with Shadowcube. That just, he should have died a long time ago, and he was alive for longer than needed to be. And if he somehow got away, I'm not the official top 10 juke play guy, but I'm putting it in there. I felt like he was alive for a lot longer than he needed to be, and iFates now is going to try to defend this left tower. Great use of the wall right there, not going to defend those autos off. So iFates able to kind of save this tower a little bit. But what happened in that team fight, man? Like, we were just talking about Quig was doing well, that obviously with the no damage scenario, but they looked like they were going to get Nerima, and then they just couldn't.
I have to throw it back on the fact, I think Quig, he was in a good position. Once he got that kill on Skeleton, he was still relatively far back. He was able to get away. He could have gotten out, but he turned back in. He started getting greedy. He went for Neruma, and honestly, when he was 2 hits, I don't blame him for the tunnel vision. I would want the kill too. But at the same time, with the other members that were around him, gatekeepers were able to collapse. The minute he took a step in the wrong direction, they all knew what to do, and he fell before he could find a kill.
That's just unfortunate right there for Quig. As let's take a look at the recap of things after that fight. We do have a 2,000 experience lead over for Gatekeepers, but the gold differential is still in Quig's favor. Very minimally, though, I will say, just under 1,000. So not really that big of an item. We're talking about maybe a tier 1 item for a couple members. As speaking of items, let's take a quick peek. We do have iFates. He's going to get that Stone of Binding this time around at the very end. We have a couple Void Stone finishes up. This will be great for the Athena-Giannis combination, especially when Athena goes to taunt in and Giannis hits an Unstable Vortex, going to be taking more magical damage. Along the lines, this Ethereal Staff has become a staple, and this has kind of become an MLC stealth item. He enjoys it for the health / the mini Soul Reaver effect, obviously. He'll get that online. But again, we do have a Gem of Isolation on the Fafnir, so this is an offensive item. Now, this procs on his basic attacks in Dragon form, and it also procs on his 2. So if he gives his course to one of the AD carries with Hasten Fatalis, they're actually going to be Gem of Isolation people / using Hasten Fatalis. It's very, very disgusting. I don't know how it's going to come into fruition when it comes to chase downs, but that's what I see happening.
I'm looking at the combination really with Quig. Again, like we've been saying, he's kind of back and forth this game on the Izanami, and the same thing was kind of the last game. But with that effect on the double autos, he has that chance to really miss and still kind of connect with the return auto. So it's going to be interesting to see how that goes. As again, everyone's kind of coming out to a stalemate. I think Skeleton looking for the kill onto Benny-Q here, just waiting patiently in the jungle. And he's going to go in, going to be able to get the wall, forcing the beads. The dash comes out, and Benny-Q, he's ultimately going to be able to get out of that. Now we might be able to see a turnaround as Genocide's making that rotation over.
Oh, there we go. Let's see. They didn't remember it's going to jump out. The Terra ultimate did get used for the speed, along with somebody to know. No one sprinted. It is just the Terra boost, but Benny-Q, he's got enough damage online. He's swinging with that Transcendent stacks, cleans up the Thor jungle. Not going to happen. iFates, though, over here is going to find the Giannis, and well, they don't remember, forced out the purification beads. Here we go, fighting the backside jungle. The snipes are going to connect. Benny-Q finds himself another one. He's looking for the delayed triple. Kiki so cheeky with a great taunt. Better portal to drop members. The wall is going to actually hurt blue team a little bit there. It's unable to stop anybody's back. But they're popping meditation and they're going.
They're going to be pushing down this tier 2. Should be able to get that no problem. Turning their sights immediately towards the Gold Fury. Extend the lead when you have the chance. Take away any opportunity that Gatekeepers might have to find themselves back into it. And Gold Fury is going to be target numero uno there. Next to the Portal Demon and the Fire Giant. And honestly, I expect to see after this, take the Gold Fury back, spend some of the gold, meet up over there on that right-hand side of the map. Although they might be going to help Quig out, who's having some trouble in the mid lane.
Well, he just had to burn his Sanctuary right there. Now his Purification down, so no relics for the AD carry in the mid lane. Kiki so cheeky is absolutely fine. Uses the ulti. Oh, got the snipe. I was watching Quig. My heart fell when I saw him juke into it. Oh, man, that hurt my feelings. He falls.
You have to feel bad about that one coming down, especially Quig, because I mean they were poised to do so well, especially in this next fight, because of the advantage they've had, because they were able to kind of pick up some kills over there on the left-hand side. Now iFate's using the wall to wall off 3 members, but he gets pillared down. He's going to go into the ult, Shards of Ice Fuse, just trying to get some damage down on the Kiki So Cheeky, but the tanks are so strong. Double walls coming out. He's trapped between them all.
Triple wall, just nothing.
Just looking like he's going to fall.
There's so many walls there, it's unreal, and he does end up falling. That was a tanky Ymir, though, man. He was just all the tanks just taking all the damage. Portal, even though is going to go the way of SBL gatekeepers, we'll hear the little global sound. That little, I don't even know what that is, but this was Astral, they'd be trying to walk through it the other way. But, you know, these teams know that you can't walk through the other portal.
Yeah, and at this point, I mean, right now, this is going back and forth. Like, every single fight keeps going back to back to back. We see Quignitas pick up a few kills, then SBL Gatekeepers are able to finally return that, and kind of an extended team fight. Like, they just keep that aggression until they're able to get it. And again, the tankiness that is coming down from Quignitas is kind of what we saw from Gatekeepers, where some of their members are just able to live so long, or they force Gatekeepers to dump so much. I mean, iFate's there took so much damage to the face before finally falling down. Is now Data Remember going to get chased down. BDQ coming in, but Skilladon is around with the spin to win and trying to do as much damage as they can. But Quignitas just going to hover under this tower. Kiki So the 2-man taunt, the shield wall coming down, and that is going to be another death for Quig.
Well, both beads were down, and he knew that. Kiki had a very good understanding that both purifications were down, and he's going to get knocked back as Skilly, but almost dead is Benny Q. He's going to retreat. Kiki So Cheeky in a bad end of things. He did use a frenzy, though, so the tower does end up falling, but that's 750 gold for the frenzy for a tier 1 tower. I almost would have rather have seen him held on to that frenzy, maybe use it at a different point in time, because he still has 2 starter items.
Yeah, and at this point, it's going to be... I mean, I'm interested to see what Kiki's going to do, finally getting rid of that Bumbas. I want to know what he's going to replace Swiftwing with, what he's going to replace his Mark of the Vanguard with, because at this point in the game, he doesn't need those as much. He doesn't need the
like
benefits from
them.
Maybe?
You know, maybe a Wingblade or something. Something for the slows. I mean, Fafnir's, obviously there's a Gem of Isolation on their team. You have the Ymir. I'm going to have to imagine one of these gets replaced for a Wingblade just to go ahead and help him out and keep that speed up. Then maybe he'll go into another hybrid item or something along those lines. And we do see like the Gauntlet of Thebes as an option for a little bit more health / aura item that you can give. Skilly, actually, Galaria has that on the Kabrakan. It's been a pretty popular item on solo laners, this Gauntlet of Thebes. 400 health, HP 5, and then it's a slight aura. It's like old Sovereignty. So it gives physical protections.
That really kind of accompanied with the the Stone of Binding that they have on iFates. Like the 2 of them in a single area is going to allow their team to be a little tankier and allow them to do a little bit more damage to Gatekeepers. And so far, that's been kind of working out, especially because we're going to be watching. I mean, Quig and BennyQ are the ones who they need to do the damage, and they're the ones who are standing right inside that range. Fire Giant started up. I hear Skilladon going up into the sky, looking to crash down onto anybody.
I think so did Quig.
But to disperse from Quig right now, or Quignitas, I mean, he gets 2 on that ult, but Skilladon just forced to back away immediately.
Oh, it's fine, though. He got 2 and he didn't, like, use his hammer for anything crazy, so he's able to get away, but he thought he was able to get away. Purification forced out, and an Athena ultimate as well. iFate's going to use the Shards of Ice. There goes the Dragon. He's going up in there. He's going to jump on top of Nerima. Not tanky enough is the level 13 support, and all of a sudden, this is a 4v5. But on her, I was almost going to say Benny Q for a second because I'm used to him. Data Remember split pushing in the mid lane is going to take out a tier 2, and he might be looking for more as the members from Blue decide to finally back.
But with that, the rest of the game will have to be continued on the Tier Monster Twitch channel. SBL will be starting up in about 15 minutes as another team fight is going to be coming through. And we have a small little pause coming through. We're going to have to switch channels. If you want to continue watching, switch over to twitch.tv/tiermonster. But you can also stay tuned for the SBL coming live very soon.